Okay, good day to everyone. Math grade 6 week 8 types of decimal numbers.
To the viewers. The content of this video lesson is from Mathematics Module Grade 6 provided by DepEd San Pablo City through the assistance of DepEd Region 4A. If there are errors that you noticed, kindly inform the teacher so that necessary actions will be administered. Please refrain from posting it on social media to avoid misunderstanding and do not let your rant be the subject of your posting. Thank you and God bless.
Okay, so for the answer and activity sheet in Math week 8 for the first quarter, the types of decimal numbers, if there is a practice only, it means that no submission is required. So hindi na po natin isasubmit pa yan. So let us focus doon na lamang po sa to be submitted. So learning task number 1, practice only. Learning task number 4 is to be submitted. Then just write here your solution, answer, and label. Lesson 2, problem solving involving division of decimal numbers. And lesson 3, problem solving involving multiplication of decimal numbers. This lesson was done already in week 7 and in week 6. So all of it are practice only. So dito po sa math journal, just have to fill up the blank with your answers to complete the paragraph. So today I learned about kung anong natutunan ng bata. Then I had difficulty on kung saan po siya nahirapan. And then for me to improve, I will. So ano po yung gagawin niya para siya ay mag-improve dun sa kanyang mga lesson kung nahihirapan siya. Okay, so objectives. After going through this lesson, you are expected to differentiate terminating from repeating and non-terminating decimal quotients. Let's start. So let's start first with rational numbers. So rational numbers, it stops or repeats in a pattern. Can be written as a fraction or decimals. Can be positive or negative integers. So this is the example, is what you're seeing right now. Then irrational numbers, it does not end and never repeats. Can't be written as a fractions and can't be written as a quotient of two integers. Okay, so yeah. So example, the very best example there is the pi. Okay, so let's proceed now to how do we change decimals to fractions and vice versa. So in step 1, you just have to read the decimal number and and how you read it is actually the same as how you write it. So use the decimal place value as your denominator. So let us have an example on the next page. So 25 hundredths or 0.25 is read as 25 hundredths. So therefore, the answer is 25 over 100. Then if you put in lowest term, you will get 1/4. Okay. Okay. So how do we change fractions to decimals? So we simply divide the numerator and the denominator. Look at the example. It cannot be, you just have to put 0 and then a decimal point. And then don't forget to write also the decimal point on top. So there are two fours in 10. So 2 times 8, 2 times 4 is actually 8. And then 10 minus 8 is 2. So we cannot write the remainder. So instead of writing the remainder, we put again another 0 so that we can determine if that will end or not. So it will become 20. 20 divided by 4 is 5. 5 times 4 is 20. So it ends at 5. So our answer, so the decimal of 1/4 is 25 hundredths. Okay, 25 hundredths. Okay, so let's proceed to the next. So how do we change mixed fractions to decimals? For example, we have 4 and 1/4. Change these first two improper fractions. So multiply the whole number and the denominator, then add it with the numerator. So 4 times 4, we have 16. Add it with 1, then we can get 17. So then use the denominator 4. So you will get 17 over 4. Okay, so next. Okay, so you can divide the numerator by the denominator. So the numerator is always inside of that long division sign. Okay. Okay, so there are four fours in 17. Then 4 times 4 is 16. 17 minus 16 is 1. So we don't use remainder. So we will put a decimal point and another decimal point on the quotient. Then we will add 0. Then bring down that 0 to make it 10. So how many 4 are there in 10? So we have 2. So 2 times 4 is 8. And then 10 minus 8 is 2. Then we just add again another 0 until we get the final answer. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. 5 times 4 is 20. So it ends with 5. So our answer is 4 and 25 hundredths. Okay, so let us now compare the two decimal answers that we had the last time. So the first one is 0.25 or 25 hundredths. So it ends by writing 0, we end the division. So this is an example of a terminating decimal. So if we keep on adding 0 and then it terminates or it stops at a certain point, then we call it as a terminating decimals. So the next one, we will see here that the digit 3 is repeated. So by adding 0, the division never ends. So this is an example of a repeating or non-terminating decimals. Okay, so for the classification of non-terminating, we have the repeating non-terminating decimals. Examples of that are the following. So you will see that it keeps on repeating. And then if there is a group that keeps on repeating also, for example, that one, 0.123, then 123, it is also called as repeating non-terminating decimals. Then we also have non-repeating, non-terminating decimals. So these are decimals that goes on also forever, but it doesn't repeat. Okay. Okay, the two types of decimals. So we have the terminating decimals, the division ends, then the non-terminating decimals, where the division goes on forever, can be repeating or non-repeating.